All right, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another edition of The Danny Show. I'm your host, Dan Cody, and this is where I give commentary and reviews on all things wrestling. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Before I'm here today because I want to talk about the amazing event that happened last night at AEW All Out. Some of you have seen me cover Clash at the Castle. Thanks for all the views on that, as well as Worlds Collide. But I got to talk about what happened last night at AEW's All Out. It has been an incredible weekend. And I'm not going to give you a long play by play review this time, but I'm just going to give a couple of quick thoughts. First and foremost, speaking of NXT UK, I want to say congratulations to former NXT UK female wrestler Toni Storm, who is now AEW Women's Champion. And also, speaking of the women, congratulations to Jade Cargill for remaining undefeated by defeating Athena, whom we formerly know from NXT as Ember Moon. Congratulations on that. I must say, that was a very cool look she had last night, paying tribute to the trending new movie that's coming out. Actually, it is out. She Hulk. She was painted in mostly green, which is tribute to the She Hulk character. And I thought that was awesome. And also, it was awesome that she won her match defending her TBS championship in front of her daughter. That's a thing of beauty right there. Also, great to have Eddie Kingston back. As we know, he was suspended. And also, great match between Jericho and Brian Danielson with a special performance during his entrance. Great professional wrestling skills on display. But of course, Jericho won with, I believe, was the elbow. So I guess Jericho is not just a sports entertainer, which was a diss to WWE, but also a great professional wrestler also. So congratulations to Jericho, who brought his lion heart personality tonight, not the wizard, not the Judas Priest, which is his theme. He didn't bring that. Obviously, he didn't need the fans singing. He's a heel. But tonight we brought the original Jericho back, the Lionheart. That was pretty cool. Also, I cannot believe Luchasaurus turned on. I'm trying to figure out whose side is Luchasaurus on. Is he for Christian or Jungle Boy? Because he ambushed Jungle Boy in front of his family, and Christian, being the heel that he is, won the match in a crooked fashion because Jungle Boy refused to quit. But he had it coming, considering the unfair attack. And also, is this the weekend of fan attacks? I mean, seriously, we got Tyson Fury knocking out Austin Theory, which I liked, by the way. Last night, a fan held Theory so Ricochet can do a chop, and tonight, one of the relatives of last night, rather, one of the relatives of Jungle Boy slapped Christian. It was well deserved, but this is the weekend of fan attacks. Thank goodness nobody did it to Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is daring somebody to do what they did to Seth Rollins. I don't think any fan in the world would want to do that. Attacking Mike Tyson, that's something you do when you're drunk. When you mess with Brock Lesnar, a drunk man isn't that dumb. But in any event, Christian had that moment. And of course, great triple threat match between the trio of the Dark Order and Hangman Adam Page, cowboy stuff, versus the elite trio of Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. That match was 5-star fire. Now, for whatever reason, Punk has a little bit of beef, as he expressed on the post post show conference, talking about Adam Page and Colt Cabana. But in any event, and somebody has a bank account with their own mother. Okay, moving on. But in any event, great trio match. trios are really starting to become the thing now because you have the trios in WWE like Bailey, Kai, and Sky. And now in this one, I would love to see Banks, Naomi, and Sasha be a trio. That would be awesome. Sasha, not Botchka. Also, back to AEW, great trios match. It would be nice if WWE had a trio alliance thing going on or a trio division. But in any event, great match tonight. It was awesome from both ends. But let's talk about the main event. Man, that main event was the bomb. First of all, I was glad to know, obviously, Punk, they wanted Moxley to become undisputed AEW champion for a minute, but Punk did not want to lose in his hometown, obviously. And I get that because Bret Hart is the same way. If you look at any of the stories that on social media that are told, you will hear that Bret did not want to lose ever in Canada. And if you haven't seen it, I've given my opinion on Bret losing at the Montreal Cheat Job. You can check that out. Also, Bret did not want to lose anywhere outside of America. I mean, there was an event that took place in Saudi Arabia, and Bret was supposed to put The Undertaker over, and for some reason, because he's international, he didn't want to do it. But he's not in Canada, so I don't really get that. And also, I'm sorry I forgot to mention that Bret got an amazing ovation at Clash at the Castle, where he wrestled British Bulldog, God rest his soul. In any event, moving forward, I know they wanted Moxley to be champion, but Punk didn't want to lose in his hometown of Chicago. So I could understand that. But the match didn't go as well the first time. But tonight was a last night rather, was a great match between Moxley and CM Punk. And there was a mixed reaction, actually. It was like 70% of the crowd, of course, are going to be for CM Punk because that's his hometown. But of course, you had your Moxley fans because as Moxley and Regal came out through the crowd, Moxley flipped a couple of people off, but at the same time, there were a lot of people who were singing Moxley's theme and they were chanting Moxley, and it was overflown with Moxley chants, and then it got overturned with Hogan chant. No, I'm thinking about Hogan and Rock in Chicago, my bad. Moxley had his chants, and then it was overshadowed by Punk chants. Nonetheless, great match. Punk was bleeding, but it didn't stop the match from being awesome. Both men brought their best foot forward, and the crowd was awesome. Even though Moxley flipped off 70% of the crowd, and I'm sure he appreciated the 30% that was cheering for him. But after the match, which Punk won because Punk doesn't want to lose in his hometown, I can understand that. Punk wins the match and becomes AEW champion. But what happens next was not as shocking, but the fans went nuts. See, before I can go there, let's talk about what happened at the beginning of the night. There was a ladder match that had a bit of a Royal Rumble vibe to it that featured Antonio Cesaro, as he's formerly known, now known as Claudio, among others. By the way, before I go any further, I forgot to mention another great trio match between Sting, the Redeemer, and Darby Allin against the dark team of Black, Murphy, and Brody. It's so ironic that Miro plays the role as God's favorite wrestler. The funny thing about it is God's favorite wrestler is actually Sting because, as we all know, Sting is a born again believer. That's funny. So I guess it would be fitting that God's scripted favorite wrestler would meet God's real life favorite wrestler in AEW. That's something. But in any event, great trio match between those guys and Black getting a taste of his own medicine with the mist. That was entertaining. Also, but back to the main event. What happened after Punk won was amazing because at the beginning of the night, there was a ladder match which Jay Cargill's manager, formerly from Diamond Mine, would win the match disguising himself as one of those Retribution spinoff guys, and then give it to a mysterious guy in a black devil mask. Later on that night, the lights would go black, and Tony Khan was heard talking to someone about showing up to All Out because of his absence and how he was willing to swallow a bitter pill. We all know that that bitter pill he was referring to was MJF. They played a scene where Punk said many years ago the greatest trick the devil ever made was convincing the world he didn't exist. And we saw that guy in a devil mask take off his mask and say, "And I am the devil himself." That devil is MJF. MJF is back, but guys, he's still heel and he doesn't like you guys. Yet that does not stop the crowd from going crazy. Everyone was popping for MJF, almost as if they forgot Punk was from Chicago and that MJF one time dissed them during the amazing promo that was cut between those two. But the crowd goes nuts. Everyone is chanting MJF, despite MJF flipping them off. But in any event, MJF is back, and I'm actually excited, even though technically he is a heel. He's supposed to be the guy we all hate. But ever since he did that promo, everybody still likes him. But he's not trying to get your likes. So don't get too, I don't know if I should get too excited for a guy that would still flip us all off. But in any event, it's an exciting time to be a wrestling fan, and I think we are about to get some competition from WWE and AEW. And MJF, in my personal opinion, is AEW's biggest secret weapon because as WWE improves, this is just going to make this liking unto the modern era of wars because they're not going to be on Mondays, but they're all on Fridays. But it's still company wars because AEW and WWE are the top guys right now, and it is about to get interesting. So, what did you think about All Out? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm your host, Daniel Cody. I said I wasn't going to be here that long, and I'm here 13 minutes and 7 seconds. But in any event, great event. I had to talk about it because it was awesome. Can't wait to see what is next for MJF. I'm your host, Daniel Cody. I hope you guys have a great Labor Day. See you next time. Hope Braun Strowman returns tonight.